Hi, this is a video for Jacob Lenhoff Tours America. My name is Bill and I'll be answering questions for Jacob Lenhoff's YouTube channel. So where did I grow up? Well, a little bit of a loaded question. I've grown up in many areas on the East Coast. Born in Appleton, Wisconsin, lived there for all about a month. Moved to Chillicothe, and my first 7 years were spent in Chillicothe, Ohio, which is about an hour, 45 minutes south of Columbus. After that, moved to St. Simons Island, Georgia for 3rd grade, and then up to Lincoln, Maine for up till about 8th grade. Lincoln, Maine is an area about 45 miles north of Bangor, so between Bangor and Millinocket, but in the northern part of the state. It's actually a very fun place to grow up. Lots of snow, we had snowmobiles, and it was a time when your parents would allow you to, get on the snowmobile and just, sort of run loose. We could go for 30, 40, 50 miles on trails. And, it was an era when you could actually do that and be safe. And after that, moved to Watertown, New York. And Watertown is, somebody asked me, where did you grow up? I would probably say Watertown. That was my high school years. I have some great friends in Watertown, or made some great friends. And Watertown was what I would consider home. On top of all that, or under all of that, there was a place that remained constant the entire time I was a kid, and that was my grandparents' condo on Honeymoon Island in Florida, which is in Pinellas County, off the coast of Dunedin, which is just north of St. Petersburg, very close to Tampa. So that's an area, again, I never lived there, but I would consider that to be, that almost to be home. So where did I go to college? Started off at the Rochester Institute of Technology in Rochester, New York. For my freshman year, I wanted to be in Cornell landscape architecture. I got accepted. My parents didn't think that was a good enough career. So they sort of pushed me to microelectronic engineering at Rochester Institute of Technology. That didn't work. When you want to be one place and not doing what you're doing, that just didn't work. So after the first year, I transferred to the University of Buffalo in Buffalo, New York, or SUNY. It's a SUNY school, a great school. I enjoyed it. Got my bachelor's there in biology, and afterwards went to Michigan State to get my master's. My master's was in plant breeding and genetics in the crop and soil science. I actually worked on potatoes. After I got my master's, I went over to the forestry department and did some research on trees, redbud, honey locust, black locust, Kentucky coffee tree, and yellowwood. So 5 different legume type trees. Those were the schools I went to. What is the best thing that's happened to me this year? That's a real easy one. Moving to Atlanta. In fact, I'm recording this from the Chattahoochee Rec area in Atlanta, or actually in the northern suburbs of Atlanta. I moved here in August. I was out hiking actually, moved here in August. Love this area, great place, but this was by far the best thing that's happened to me. Got a nice job here, had never wanted to be to Atlanta, never really wanted to visit Atlanta, sort of ironic, but I came here, fell in love with the city. I mean, my life has been wonderful. I've been impressed with everything that Atlanta has to offer. The city, I'm in the northern suburbs. Downtown is a few miles away, and here I am in a fairly wild area. I just love it. I just saw a buck chasing a deer hiking on the way into the river. Actually, this is the Chattahoochee River. So I saw a buck chasing a deer, and I'm a couple miles away from downtown. That's pretty cool in my book. But Atlanta has a lot of stuff, but this is by far, I have a great job. I really love my job. My coworkers are great. So by far, moving to Atlanta is the best thing that has ever happened. So do I like camping? I love camping, actually. I love to hike. I do love to camp. One of the things I'm gonna love about this place in Georgia. But my best experience camping was a 50+ mile canoe trip I did when I was in high school. We canoed around the Adirondacks in upstate New York, and it was great. We actually, had all our stuff. We had the tents in the canoes, and we would canoe on the rivers and lakes in the Adirondack National Forest and National Park in New York. It was wonderful. It was was a lot of fun. We actually had we were in the middle of Saranac Lake. Saranac? It might have been Saranac Lake. One of the big lakes up in that area. And big thunderstorm came in. We were actually having to paddle out. The water was coming in faster in our canoe than we could actually bail it out. But we did manage to make it to shore without filling up and sinking, which was, I guess, a good thing. But I love it. That was the best thing. I mean, it was 7 days. We were out camping for 6 of those nights. We brought our own food. Had our own tents. We moved from site to site. It was a lot of fun. That's probably my best experience camping. The one I remember the most, but I have a whole bunch. Camping is a good part of my life, or used to be, and it's going to be again. What is my favorite animal? Another very easy one. By far, my favorite animal is the squirrel. I just love squirrels. I always have. I know some of you think squirrels are a horrible nuisance, and maybe so, but I think, why do I love them? They are fun. They're cute. Yes, they are rodents, but I think squirrels are very cute. They're intelligent. They're crafty. I just enjoy watching them. I've always loved squirrels. I have a lot of squirrel decorations, so I'm maybe a little bit of a squirrel nut, so to speak. But I think squirrels are the best thing, best animal. I know a lot of people. In fact, this came up at dinner last night, and the person across from me at dinner was like, "Oh my gosh, no squirrels!" He hated them, but I just think they're cool. They're always been. I just find them intriguing. They are, a very intelligent animal, and so love them or hate them, I guess I love them. My favorite celebrity. That is a tough one. I don't know. I'm not a big, and you know why. So I'm not a big celebrity guy. I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of idols when it comes to celebrities. If I'd have liked to met anybody, it would have been Stephen Hawking, who has now passed away, only because his mind could comprehend things. I just can't believe how he could come up with some of the theories and some of the papers and some of the stuff he does. Some of the things he discovered. It blows my mind. He would be one of the people I would love to see, or I would have loved to have met. And also he did this with a huge disability, with ALS, not being able to speak, not being able to, only use a computer. So even more so, that just blows my mind. Somebody else I'd like to meet who is still alive would be Jimmy Carter. He is somebody who I think is a role model. He may not have been one of our best presidents, but he definitely wasn't one of our worst. And upon leaving office, he has probably been one of the best role models for people, I think, in the country. He goes off. He could be living a life of wealth and luxury. Instead, he goes out and puts his morals and puts his values to work. He works on things. He volunteers his time. He's a Samaritan, and I think presidential in all the right ways. So I guess there's two, maybe not common choices, but so those would be two of mine. Well, that ends this part one of the interview for Jake Lenhoff Tours America. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll be seeing you soon.